Alright, y'all, so I felt as if I had to come on here and I had to talk about one team in the NBA, the Denver Nuggets, because we talked about them a little bit. I think it was last week. We talked about them, we talked about how they were struggling, we talked about how Jokic is having to put up MVP performances every night just for them to scrape out wins against teams like the Toronto Raptors in overtime, who have now played them close twice. For some reason, the Raptors just play the Nuggets super close and are kind of playing them very well for absolutely no reason, considering the fact that we have the worst record in the league. But since we made that video, maybe it might not have been its own video, but it was something we talked about in some video, something like that, right? But since we've talked about the Nuggets, I'm dehydrated. Since we've talked about the Nuggets in that negative light and how, oh, Michael Porter Jr. couldn't hit a damn shot, and oh, their bench was terrible, and oh, Russell Westbrook's been ass, and oh, Jamal Murray's been ass. Since we've talked about those things, the Nuggets have now won 5 straight. They're sitting 7-3, 4 seed in the West, and Jokic is now averaging, by rounding up, 30, 14, and 12. And you may think, well, he said he's rounding up. Yeah, let me tell you what the rounding up is. The 30, I think it's really like 29.7. The 14, I think it's really like 13.7. And the 12, I think is like 11.9 or something. So it's like literally rounding up barely. So it's not like I'm just inflating his numbers by 1 point, by one every single stat. It's not, bro. He's just disgusting right now. If you don't have Jokic at 100%, in your top 3 at the very minimum for the MVP race right now, I know we're less than a month into the season. We might be around a month into the season, whatever. So I'm not saying he's going to win the MVP when his 4th one in 5 years. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that I'm not a guy who's been a Nikola Jokic, super fan. I'm not a guy who's thought that Nikola Jokic should have won every single MVP he's won. I think there was a year that he won that Joel Embiid should have won, and I think the year that Joel Embiid should have won, I think there was a year that Joel Embiid should have won that Jokic won, and then last year, Jokic wasn't my guy, but to each their own. I'm not really gonna hate on it. Anyways, the way that he's been playing this season, 100% to me, it's like him, Shea Tatum, like the MVP conversation right now. And he really might even be first, which is saying a whole lot for somebody that, sure, I believe Jokic is the best player in the league, and I believe Jokic is a phenomenal player, but I'm not necessarily a Jokic fan. I don't love to watch Jokic play. Now, when he takes over and he's dominant... Forgive me, the weather's changing. It sounds like I'm sick. I'm not even sick, bro. I feel great, actually. It's insane. Anyways, now, when Jokic is dominating, I do love to watch him because I just love basketball, and I love to watch any player that's dominant or that's really, really good. That's one of the best players in the sport. I love to watch them go out there and dominate and take over a game, especially when it's late in the game, when it's a clutch game. Lord, let it forbid if it's the playoff or something. I'd love to see that. So don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying it's not like I'm tuning into Nuggets games to watch Jokic the same way I'm tuning into Warriors games to watch Curry. It's not the same way I'm tuning in to watch LeBron and AD. I'm not tuning in to watch Jokic that same way. You know what I'm saying? But Jokic is still a guy that I believe is the best player in the league, and he's still obviously phenomenal. But it hasn't just been him in this 5-game stretch that they've been winning. It hasn't just been him in these 7 games that they've won. For some of it during the beginning of the season, it was really just him. But now, he's got guys helping him. Even Russell Westbrook, of all people, who was asked to start the season, who's been asked for quite some time now, has had a few games where he's been absolutely hooping during the win streak. His best game, it was a 20-point, I don't know if it was a triple-double, I think it might have been a triple-double, but he had a phenomenal game in that one where they really needed him to have a phenomenal game. MPJ's been playing well during the stretch. He's averaging about 20. His efficiency hasn't been terrible or anything like that, so he's been playing very well during the stretch. And keep in mind, all of this is with Jamal Murray having really only one good game this season. There's only really been one game this season where we looked at Jamal Murray and we were like, oh yeah, that's the Jamal Murray. Oh yeah, that's the Jamal Murray we remember from the championship run. That's the Jamal Murray we were waiting to come back from that ACL tear to see what he could really do with Jokic. That's the Jamal Murray that is the best two-man game, that is a member of the best two-man game, two-man pick and roll in basketball, and has been probably for the last 3-ish years. The thing, though, and part of the reason that Jamal Murray hasn't been really having a great season, since we're talking about this pick and roll right now, is because teams have learned how to defend it better. And that's because they've kind of been spamming the same thing for years. During the championship run, the Jokic and Murray pick and roll, two-man game, all that was really something that the Nuggets went to when they really just needed a bucket. If the other team was running, or if the Nuggets were at a close game, they really need a bucket, that's when they're going to run that two-man game. That's when they were going to run that two-man game at that time. Water bottle won't even close because it's broken. Anyways, but now what they're doing is they're using it as a main source of offense. Like, it's probably their most run play, their most run set is just Jokic and Jamal Murray pick and roll two-man game, which is making it a lot easier to defend because teams are getting more and more reps with it. Like, obviously, it's not easy to defend because one of the players in that pick and roll is the best player in the league, is one of the best centers of all time at this point. So, like, obviously, it's not easy to defend, but, like, it gets easier to defend the more you see it, especially after you've seen it over years and years and they won a championship with it, so they were the focus of the league for at least a year. You know what I'm saying? But, like, if the Nuggets can really help Jamal Murray figure things out, if Mike Malone can find a way to get this team's offense looking better, if the GM can find a way to make some moves without making this team super expensive, if they can just find a way to get out to round out some depth, to maybe try to replace some pieces like KCP or whatever, you know what I'm saying? If they can do some of these things, which really isn't out of the picture necessarily, especially Jamal Murray, getting him back into shape, getting him back into figuring things out and everything like that, getting him back into the near all-star version of himself that we know he can be. If that team can do even one of those two things, this team will probably finish as a top 3 seed out west, probably top 3-ish seed out west. So I'm still feeling pretty confident about my prediction of having the Nuggets sitting around the 4 or the 5 seed. I'm still sitting pretty confident about that because, like I said, I am actually worried about Jamal Murray. Like, he hasn't been looking good for quite some time now, so like that is a genuine concern of mine. I'm not necessarily saying they'll get him back on track, but I'm saying if they could, it would help things a lot. But I still feel pretty confident about what I predicted this team to be. I definitely had some worries about it at the beginning of the season based on the way they were playing, but yeah. Tomorrow, hopefully, y'all will be able to get a rebuild. I got to try to find the time to record it, but hopefully y'all will be able to get a rebuild tomorrow. This was a pretty short video. I just wanted to give the Nuggets my respect and Jokic my respect and apologies. I'm about to go hop on 2K with the guys. It is exactly 11:40 a.m. on a Monday morning right now. I'm about to hop on 2K with the guys because we don't have classes or work or nothing right now. So, yeah, we're about to win some games. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for watching. And tell a friend about the channel, okay? If you need a basketball fix where you're not really watching hoops or you just want to stay connected with the game but you don't want to buy all the streaming platforms in the NBA League Pass, tell them to bring your friends here that are those type of people. Stay and watch the videos yourself if you're that type of people. I don't have to be your only source of NBA knowledge because I don't know everything and I can't keep up with everything in the NBA. There's 30 teams. I'm one guy that has 3 jobs and is also in college. I can't keep up with everything right now. But, like, if you can make me one of your sources, that would be pretty cool. You know, cool guy, man. I'm really a great, nice guy. Anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Stay blessed. Stay praying. Keep grinding. Keep pushing. Don't quit. Don't let nobody stop you. Don't ever run from achieving your dreams. I don't care how scary they sound to you. And keep God first always. All right? All right.